Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere I swear. Like an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running.
Oh my god. Oh, heck.
Today I will be explaining the strategies used in the 4.7 Abyss for Childe International. For the builds, there are damage thresholds that need to be hit in order for the strat to work. Xiangling ER is also important this Abyss. She needs at least 230 ER including the Engulfing Lightning's passive and good batterying on chamber 2 to have burst backup on chamber 3. As a result, people choose to use Engulfing Lightning or the catch paired with Zyphos Moonlight to have enough ER. 230 ER is without Favonius, but having to fish for Favonius is a whole different story. Here are the relevant stats and damage threshold requirements for each character. Chamber 1 is the most difficult chamber due to having many possible points of failure. Wave 1 is 3 Doritos, which looks fine until Childe keeps missing crits. Next is a Ruin Guard, which has a deceptively small hitbox. Third is Ruin Drakes, who love moonwalking if you get too close, but on top of that, it seems like they decide whether or not to charge at you based on the position of the moon. Lastly is 2 Pokemon trainers that weigh 10 million pounds since they can only be grouped right after they spawn before gravity sets in. Xiangling ult is used first to not have cooldown issues down the line, then Childe ult and immediately switch to Xiangling and run toward the Ruin Guard, drop Guoba, Kazuha E, and kill the Ruin Guard as fast as possible to not run into cooldown issues. Time the dashes to match the Ruin Guard's attack pattern. In order to prevent the Drakes from moonwalking, make sure to be standing far enough away from the Drake's spawn location when killing the Ruin Guard. Use the edge of Pyronado to apply Pyro to one Ruin Drake, then bait them toward the Eremite spawn location, and charge shot to apply Hydro on the other. The Drakes will charge while their weak point is exposed, which can be used to stun them for grouping. Kazuha Burst applies Hydro to the other Ruin Drake. Immediately Bennett Burst to proc Instructors, then Childe Aim Shot into E, and 2 or 3 normals for Nymph and Polar stacks. Kazuha Burst Tick will swirl Hydro, which makes the Hydro aura stronger, allowing Xiangling to evade more hits, and pray for Tartag Burst to crit after getting all the way to this point. Charge shot if needed to finish off the Drakes, then time Kazuha E suction with the moment the Eremites spawn, and drive on Childe to finish off the chamber. Now to explain Ruin Drake AI to make it consistent. Once the Ruin Drake reaches a specific distance away from your position, the Drake will trigger the attack where they charge at you. There are 2 requirements for them to charge at you. 1, be far enough away, and if you're not far enough away, they will keep following you without charging. 2, be at a specific distance away. The key is to let them walk up to the right distance that triggers their charge by standing still. If you walk or dash over that invisible line of the magic distance, they will not charge since the first requirement is not met. You are able to walk or dash just before that invisible line to trigger the charge faster, but it has a higher probability of failure since it is easy to go over the line. There's a 3 dash strategy, which is slightly slower but easier to do, since the timings and distances are preset for you rather than the 1 or 2 dash strat where you have to get a decent feel for the magic distance and time Kazuha Burst correctly. Another thing to pay attention to is staying in the middle of the Drakes to keep them grouped properly and ensure they charge at the same time. This also means resetting if they moonwalk after killing the Ruin Guard, or attacking if they get too close while applying pyro with Pyronado. The timing of the bursts will affect whether or not instructor is triggered. Some miscellaneous tips. If you're not going for a peak time, I recommend taking the run even if Childe doesn't crit by getting a double hit on the survivors to finish them off. Otherwise, it takes too many resets, not including critting on the ruined drakes. It's also helpful to practice the other waves of enemies. Guoba can be pushed quite easily and be pulled by Kazuha E, so it is possible to drop him earlier and Kazuha E faster. To proc instructors on drakes, alt swap is used to consistently burst faster, but alt swap is bugged before switching from Kazuha to anyone else. Usually you can spam alt and a number key to get them to burst, but spamming during Kazuha's burst animation only swaps and doesn't burst. As a result, it is recommended to practice the alt swap timing to build up muscle memory. 5.5 cost internet is able to one-shot the Doritos without Hydro Swirl, which saves a bit of time. Chamber 2 is the Magu Kenki, which has 2 phases, and each phase is perfectly split between Childe and Xiangling. There are, I think, 2 commonly used rotations for Kenki, but I will be showing the one I prefer as it is easier to perform and doesn't require C6 Bennett. Childe starts off with an E and some normals for Riptide Mark. E for instructors, Kazuha E glide cancel into burst. Drop Guoba to help take down phase 1 faster and for an extra particle for energy funneling. Childe ranged Q when the tip of Kenki's sword is in the middle between the top of his head and the floor for the burst to land right after Kenki exits invulnerability. E and some normals to finish off the last of phase 1. Bennett E quickly before Kazuha tick removes Hydro to refresh instructors. Alt swap into Xiangling quickly to catch the particles. Kazuha E for VV and to tank the attack. Bennett E and drop Guoba to battery again, then start driving on Childe. Kenki will pull you counterclockwise, which is free backpedaling. A common mistake is running into Kenki, so you will have to account for the pull in your movement, the easiest being changing the camera angle to keep Kenki centered. Drive Pyronado in sync with Kenki's attack pattern and you can expect to get 2 double hits before the slash attack. Then use some driving techniques such as triple hit to finish him off faster. Booking during the setup can help you set up faster to be able to hit Kenki as soon as he exits invulnerability. Sometimes Kazuha's burst tick can remove Hydro Aura, preventing Bennett from proccing instructor. To fix this, you can change up the timings of your setup for things to line up, either by changing the speed of your setup or doing a different number of Childe attacks. Chamber 3 is Azumon, and it needs to get the attack pattern where it spawns 2 Beyblades to prevent it from going invisible too quickly. During Childe's melee Q animation, you are able to see what attack it uses and know whether or not to reset. This boss has a very wide hitbox, which is free double hits without extra movement. Just focus on N2C cancels to maintain Hydro Aura. It is better to have Kazuha burst up since it is a time loss to have to wait for Bennett's Pyro Infusion, and it also makes it harder to get a 3-stack Nymph burst since the timing is tight to have instructor buff last that long. That's the end of this video. Hopefully it helped you out, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments.
brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And if quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in it. Oh man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Looking for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have them yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stats, yo. Woo! Everybody wanna do the same thing, yo. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream.